Hey, how's it going, everyone? Emmanuel here. Um, do a little small coloring tutorial. Um, be using Medibang Paint Pro, which is a free app and software. So if you just Google Medibang Paint Pro, you will be able to find the the main site, and you can download it for iPad or for your computer. So this little tutorial just want to show you how, for me, how I color skin. Well, emphasis on darker skin. So let's jump right into it. Just gonna do a circle here. Okay. I kind of want to do this so you can see like how I'm moving instead of just screen recording. All right. So I'm just gonna grab a base color. And let's go with that. Select. Okay. I'm just gonna fill this in. Okay. So now, if you use Medibang Paint or Clip Studio, whatever, for me, in Medibang, I like using the pencil, which the pencil kind of has attributes like the watercolor brush in Clip Studio Paint. Okay. So, I'm trying to pass it down a little bit. Now, of course, I will still say when starting to shade, you want to hue shift. So, depending on the character and the lighting, I will either go warmer or go cooler, but just a little shift. So I'm gonna shift it to the red a little bit, and then so that's shifting the color, the hue. Then I'm gonna shift the saturation, so I want to put the shade in. So I'm gonna shift, and this is where you choose. Well, don't just go like down to shade, kind of go diagonal. Whether you go diagonal to get more saturation or go diagonal to get less saturation. So hue shift, and then for saturation, think of like diagonal. And then I'm just going to grab that pencil. I'm just going to, forgot. I am going to do I'm not going to do a clipping mask. Just going to protect the alpha. And again, laying this down. It's like one shade, and I might go in for the lulls of it. Try to do some kind of gradient blending here. Okay, that's good enough. Now, say if I want to add another shadow, so I'm gonna get the darkest tone, which is still right there. You kind of don't want to remove like the true tone that you laid down first, like before blending, if you blend. So I have this tone, and I'm going to again hue shift. I can go either way. But I'm gonna keep going more red, and I'm gonna go darker but desaturate. And with the opacity still already down, like in a more blended, I'm just going to lightly lay that down. And then maybe do the same thing, kind of grab color pick, grab a mid-tone color, kind of soften it up a little bit. And Now, this part for me is kind of like just getting the basic shading, because the way I tend to work is create the first step, which is the colors, like the flat colors, then shading, then adjusting, like kind of like filters, but not using filters, like and then like kind of special effects. It goes in layers for me. But so I'm gonna grab this, and since I went more red for the shade, I'm gonna go more this way. I'm gonna pull more yellow. So hue shift, it's too big of a hue shift. Hue shift, and just slightly diagonal to desaturate the color a little bit lighter. Okay. Just gonna do that, and rinse and repeat. Turn it down. And one thing I like to do is if I blend too far, like in or down, then I can just take the darker color and just push it back up. Okay. All right. Then I'm gonna kind of go more hue shift one more time, but then I want a little bit more saturation. Let's go to that. Okay. Blending is all about just color picking. When the color slightly changes, and of course, the pencil brush I'm using is quite hard brush, so I kind of want to extend this color a little bit. So kind of grab that and extend it a bit. I see how I grabbed that color and just kind of pushed it all back. So, and usually when I do highlights, I usually do them softer, like with a softer brush, so they're not as harsh. Then again, it depends on the look I'm going for. Okay, so we kind of have some kind of lighting, shading, what have you. So after I have this, like this looks okay, but then what I would do next is, remember the skin has blood underneath, so what I will do is I will grab a red tint or red violet, a nice saturated color, and I'll tend to use something soft, so maybe I'll grab an airbrush and I will clip this or mask it, whichever one you want to do. Opacity is up to you, but this is where kind of layer effects if you want to use. So, and generally in the shaded areas, I'll just lay down that color. And with this, you can hue shift, saturation, and stack that. if you want. And then come down to opacity, under normal, and just kind of change it because you don't want it to be seen too much. So now I think I'm going to give it a couple of pencil strokes as well. Put the opacity back up. Yep, do a couple of pencil strokes instead of just the airbrush, since that's the style of the coloring. Okay. See, and with the normal layer, you can just 10% or so for just turn it on and off. Even that gives more life to the skin tone, because the darker skin, whether it's this color, even this color, reds, purples, blues, you want to put into the skin to make it more lively. Same with white skin color, but it's a little bit easier with lighter skin color to just get away with like reds, pinks. But you can also use like the multiply, sometimes overlay or hard light, depends on the look you're going for. Like this is hard light, multiply. Well, let me put it opacity. Of course, opacity 100 is going to look straight horrible, but it's on multiply, which is just ugly. So we turn it down. It's darker, but some of the red and purple is lost. So I'm gonna go to overlay. Of course, overlay, it's a little bit better, a little bit redder. Hard light. And the best thing to do to test it out is just keep the opacity all the way up so you can see how the layer, changing the layer style affects. So I'm going to keep it on hard light. Yep, so I'm gonna do hard light at around 15%, and that gives it brings red, life back into that skin tone. And that's the main thing I do. You could also, let's see, because you don't want to get too crazy. So let me try this. We have blue in the skin as well. So I'm going to grab some blue, clip it, and drop some blue just wherever. See what happens. Just drop some blue here. So I'm using soft light. Wait a minute. Let me go to hard light and see. And this is pretty much the main thing, just testing, see what pleases your eye. So that's a little bit of blue on top of that red. So if we take out the red, put the red back in, put the blue on top, light opacity. You don't want to overpower it unless that's your character, what you want. Because at the end of the day, it's what you want, what the client or customer wants. So I'm gonna try to put a little bit of highlight right in here. So I'm gonna grab that color, hue shift. Okay. Nothing too crazy. Okay. And maybe a little. A bit of that. Should we connect it? Yeah, why not? Just be weird. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Okay, and I might kind of blend it a little bit. A little bit of blending here. Whoop. That grab was a little bit too dark. Okay, hurry up and save. Thank you. Sometimes autosave still gets on my nerve, but I never turn it off. Okay, I'm just rattling. So, kind of a highlight. Let me grab this and kind of push it around. So it's kind of dancing. It's kind of together with the highlight. Then maybe a cast light on this side, since we have a good bit of warmth. I'm gonna chuck down to kind of a blue-green. There we go. I'm just gonna chuck that over here. Which is kind of the color that I will use for cast lights when coloring different tone skin. So grab the skin tone to blend it in. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Went longer than I thought. But yeah, like for darker skin tones, yellowish skin tones, reddish skin tones, just once you shade it, remember hue, shift your hue. And then when you pick like a lighter color, darker color, don't go up and down when you pick it. Try to go diagonal. It's like basically it's two hue shifts, basically. This is just the hue shift, and this is hue shift plus saturation shift. Saturation and tint and shade shift. Highlight, light, dark shift. So hopefully you got something out of this. Again, Medibang Paint Pro, free. Really good. A lot of my commission work and just work in general has come out of this, and I still will use it alongside Clip Studio Paint. So if you have any questions, let me know. Drop it in the comment, send me a message. If you have any ideas of what you would like to see as far as a tip, trick, or software, or how to do this or that, let me know. All right, so take it easy. Keep doing what you're doing. I'll catch you around.